All right, you're going to open your layers panel and you're going to lock your first layer, and then you're going to create a new layer and you're going to call it outlines. Okay, you're going to turn your fill off and you're going to pick a bright color for your stroke, something that stands out. You're going to just trace the outlines. So here's what I mean by that. I'm going to trace the outline of the top lip, and then I'll trace the outline of the teeth, I'll trace the outline of the gums. And because you're doing this in the low poly style, it involves all straight lines, so make sure there's no curves. Now, if I were to click this, it would get rid of that. I don't want to do that. So you're going to hold Shift, and then that will allow you to put down a new line. And that happens sometimes if you are trying to trace near something else that already exists. Okay, so you would lock your outlines layer and you would make a new layer, and you can call it either mesh or triangles. Okay, and you're gonna want to call it, or I'm sorry, you're gonna want to pick a different color that also stands out. All right, and for this, you're just gonna go through and you're gonna fill it with a bunch of triangles. The size and spacing is up to you, but you want to make sure that your triangles do not go out of the outline. So like for example, I am only going to fill in the lip first, then I will go and do the gums, then I will go and do the teeth. Also, again, if you are going to trace something and you're starting with a triangle right next door to another one, you're going to need to hit Shift so that way you can click. Now, you might even consider making a different layer for each different area. So I might call this like upper lip, and then I might lock it and make a new one for the teeth. If you want, you can check and make sure you didn't skip any areas. So you can do Control A or Command A to select everything. And then you can just swap your fill and your stroke. All right, I'm looking, I didn't miss anything. All is good. I'm gonna undo it and keep moving on. Okay, now that I have those two traced, I'm gonna go through and I can start filling stuff in. I'm going to start with the upper lip. I'm gonna lock the teeth, do the upper lip first. Okay, so I will start with one triangle of my choice, and I will pick a color. Um, Actually, I'm gonna first flip my fill and my stroke because I don't want a stroke for this at all. Now I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna choose a color that I like. Okay, now I'm gonna go through and pick another color that's kind of similar. So what you can do is you can grab the eyedropper and it'll copy but then if you want, you can just make it a little bit lighter or darker. Sometimes having that variety looks really nice. Okay, and now I'll go through and I'll pick one more version of this, like maybe darker. So I'm gonna grab my eyedropper, click, I'll just make it a little darker. Okay, whoops. Now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna grab some triangles and I'm going to choose to make them either like my middle color, my lighter color, or my darker color. And it's gonna look really nice if you can plan it so that the colors that you're choosing don't touch. So like if you pick this one to be your medium color, you would want this one to be either lighter or darker, so that way it, looks a little bit different. You can see that contrast. So I'm going to go through with my selection tool, my black mouse, and I'm just going to hold shift and pick some random triangles that I would want to all be the same color. And which color did I want? Okay, I'm going to go with my medium color for this. So I'm going to try and pick ones that don't touch other medium color ones. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to go through and select some ones that I want to be darker. Now I'll go through and select some lighter. Ooh, I'm noticing I missed a triangle. There we go. I'll have that one be medium. All right, so now the lips are done. When you are totally done with everything, you want to turn off your outlines and then turn off your photo. All right, so eventually all you will be left with is the filled in mesh.